Welcome back to another video on Atlanta to Dallas aviation. Well, I am finally back from Las Vegas, where I went on my 30th wedding anniversary with my wife. I was supposed to be back late, around midnight or so on Tuesday, but because of Winter Storm Mara, M-A-R-A, I did not get back until 4 p.m. on Thursday, so I'm a little bit behind on the videos that I was planning on doing. As you know, I still have the wide body part 2 unboxing that I left you with before I went to Las Vegas. And then I was going to also do a video with what I got from the airplane shop, basically the Gemini Jets headquarters in Las Vegas. I got some stuff there, as you can kind of see in the frame here. And so I'm just a little bit behind on this because I needed Friday to update all my finances. So I spent yesterday doing that, but today, so the first video, which was actually going to be the second video when I got back, is now the first video because I had to spend a little bit of this video venting about having to spend more money for 2 more days out on the road that quite frankly was just spent being in the hotel. When we couldn't get to Dallas, they wanted to reroute us for the next day to go even further west to Burbank and then to Dallas. And I did not want to get further west because the further west you go, the less options you have if more flights cancel. So I decided that I was going to see how much closer to Dallas I could get, and that ended up being going to San Antonio. So instead of going to Dallas at the time I was going to, I went to San Antonio. Stayed, slummed it at a Days Inn there that night. Did not leave the hotel the whole next day, which we did not have a flight scheduled that day because I figured that the weather forecast was terrible for the next day too. So I just told them to book me for Thursday, which ended up being the right plan because every flight from San Antonio to Dallas on Wednesday was canceled. Every single one. So we just stayed in the hotel all that day, ordered food to be delivered to us. And then finally at 12:30 on Thursday, we finally were able to leave San Antonio and get back to Dallas. But anyway, so back to the airplane shop in Las Vegas. These are the items I got. And maybe you're saying to yourself, well, why in the world did you get one model, 2 airplane stands, and an Airways magazine? That's all you got when you were at the Gemini Jets headquarters? Well, yes, I did take, it's not a big shop, and they have a few different things there, but it's not a huge shop. And a lot of the shop has just display cases of every single Gemini Jets that's ever been made. That was kind of cool. And then they have, as you probably have seen on other videos from other people, they have a nice big kind of setup in the middle of the store of their airport terminal. So they got two of their most recent terminals set up on mats, and you know, that was kind of cool. But as I was shopping around, well, first of all, I didn't have a lot of room because I was creating another carry-on through the whole trip, you know, with souvenirs and stuff. So I couldn't get any models that were too large. And I was thinking about getting a 200 scale model, but I just didn't see anything that I just had to have. And as I was shopping around, I just wasn't inspired to get anything. So basically, I just got what you see here in the frame. I could have even just gotten stands. I really need more stands. And they had the simulated wooden stand, but the footprint of that stand is fairly large. And I only have one display case with 550 models, and half of those aren't even displayed right now. So I had to get the slightly cheaper one, which is the two metal stands, and I could have bought them out of stands. I really did need the stands, but I didn't really have that kind of money. So anyway, so y'all have probably seen these stands. This is, I guess, one of their original stands. And it's kind of cool, you know, made of chrome metal, and it's fairly simple. And even though the footprint's fairly large, the footing part here is really flat. So, you know, like airplane wings and stuff can still clear it. So I can put my models in there in a way that still puts them fairly close together. So even though the footprint is big, the foot itself is pretty flat, so it doesn't get in the way. So I got a couple of those, you can see, really exciting. The one model I did get was this Western Airlines 737-300. Obviously, this is prior to the Delta merger, and this is a 2019 release, so just before the pandemic. Let's see. The item number for this is Golf Juliet Whiskey Alpha Lima 1202. And there you can see the box there. And if you want to get kind of a close-up of that, you can stop and read that, assuming you can read it. All right, so this is going to be the one model that I'm going to unbox for this. This other thing here, I have a 787 that one of the main landing gear does not have a landing gear door. So that is the port side landing gear door that they gave me at the Gemini Jets store, that I will attempt to glue on the 787 that is missing a gear door. And then let's go ahead. Before I unbox that Western 737-300, also got myself the January 2023 release, if you will, edition. I'm not really sure what you call it, but of Airways magazine. A long time ago, I used to have a subscription to this. I might renew my subscription now that I have this. I really like this magazine. There used to be a magazine called Airliners also, which I thought was, I'm not a big, huge reader, but it was more of a picture magazine than this one is, even though this one has a good amount of pictures too with story. But Airliners does not exist anymore, at least not that I know of. So Airways is basically what took its place. I don't believe they're the same publisher, but they were similar in style and in content. So I may be getting new subscription to that. All right, so back to this. Let's do a quick unboxing of this. Now that I ranted on about my trip, of course, it was weather cancellation. So unfortunately, even though I paid for a ticket, it was the extra expense was on my dime. So that kind of ruined my vacation for me, if you will, because I had to pay for 2 more days of overnight accommodations and more food that I would have just eaten at home, which is much cheaper. Anyway, so here we go. The Western Airlines 737-300. And let's see, I don't think I read the registration to you. I told you the item number, but the registration on this is November 306 Whiskey Alpha. So we will do the 360. Still have not gotten my turntable. Eventually I will do that. And I won't have to keep telling you, hey, I still don't have a turntable. And I'm eventually going to get one. Anyway, so this is nice. This was really nice. So the funny thing is, even though I like classics, most of the classics I have are mainly because I've been collecting since 1999, maybe even 1998. So even though there's a lot of classics in my collection, it's mainly because it wasn't a classic when I bought it. So so this was basically a classic. It'll go in my Delta. I have a shelf that is Delta carriers that Delta merged with. Really, the only thing that's missing in that collection is a Chicago and Southern aircraft. Now, Aero Classics has put out a Chicago and Southern Lockheed Constellation, but it was in 200 scale. I didn't really want the 200 scale. I just it looked nice, and I was tempted to get it. But I figured I'm not in any hurry to get that one. But hopefully that means they're going to put one out in 400 scale. And once I have a Chicago and Southern, I will have a pre-merger version of every airline that merged with Delta. So I already had a Western. I had a Western swivel stick DC-10, and I also have an Indian head. Well, that's what I'm calling it, an Indian head Western 707. So those are the Western ones that I have in the pre-merger collection. So now I have this one, and this is basically exactly what it looked like just prior to being taken over by Delta. This looks pretty nice. This is actually the first time I've taken it out of the box to inspect it, if you will. The front tires are nice. I'm going to try to get in kind of close here. And I'm going to move the camera down a little bit so we can be a little bit closer to ground level, so you can see a little bit of the undercarriage. And there we go. A little bit closer. We'll see how close it lets me get. I haven't quite figured that out yet. Alright, I think that might be too close. Okay. Alright, it looks like it's in focus, or at least in focus enough. Yep, the geared doors look pretty good. I'm not well versed on the 737-300. But there's the W swizzle stick, the CFM 56 engines, and it also kind of looks like when it's sitting, it actually looks like it's back heavy. It kind of sits back. So there you have it. The nice big Western titles on the tail there. And that, whoa, easy now, easy. I don't know why that unfocused. Sorry about that. But anyway, so there it is. The only model that I got on my visit to the Gemini Jets headquarters in Las Vegas. It's a pretty nice model. And certainly glad to have it now that I have it. Anyway, so that'll be it for this video. I will be making my part 2 unboxing the wide bodies here in just a little while. It will probably post on Sunday, where this one will be posting as soon as I can get it posted on Saturday. So we will see you again next time.